Hey guys, I'm Aaron from Geeky Development and welcome to our Xcode tutorials. In this tutorial is part 2 of 3 in our mini-series on creating a WebView application within the Swift language. In this tutorial we're going to be focusing on adding a search bar to our WebView. This search bar will give us the ability to search any website, any URL that we like and display it within our application. So let's jump straight in to our second video in this mini-series. So continuing on from our previous tutorial where we displayed websites within the web views and given the ability to control them, we're now going to move on to adding a search bar within our application so we can type in and search our own websites and display them within the app. So what we're going to do first then is make sure we're in our main.storyboard. In the previous tutorial we added missing constraints just to make sure that objects resize for the different device types. I'm now going to quickly remove them as I'm going to change and interact with the different objects. So we select our web view here. I'm going to resize this down. There we go. I'm going to simply now find a search bar and add that in. I'm going to just make sure it's underneath our status bar there. You can choose to remove it by checking out our previous tutorials on removing the status bar. We'll leave that there now so it doesn't interact or overlap our search bar so we can clearly see what we're doing. And then drag our web view back up. I'm then going to select all of our objects and then go into add missing constraints again. So when we change a different device type, so the smaller iPhone, you can see it resizes itself to work perfectly on them. Okay, so we've got that set up. We've got a search bar added into our application or in our interface. Now there's nothing else we need to do. The only thing we need to do now is add an outlet for it. So I'm going to bring up the assistant editor. So we're in our view controller.swift here. And just like how we added in our web view, I'll make a space underneath there. We're going to right click or control click and drag it over and drop it. And I simply name this search bar and add that in as our outlet. Okay. We've got that in. We're now going to close the assistant editor and we jump back into our standard editor and then go to our view controller.swift. Okay, so from within here now, we need to set it up to have the ability to, when we enter text within our search bar, to then display it within our web view. So the first thing we're going to do is, because we don't want our users to simply write http://www. and so on and so on. We only really want our users to simply type out www.google.com. So we're going to have presets within our search bar the http://. So we get our search bar .text within our view did load, so simply equal http://. So that's going to be pre-defined in there when the application loads up. So this saves our user that little bit of time. The next thing we're going to do is add a function statement in. And this is going to be for our search bar. So we type in function, and then we add in our search bar, search button, just making sure I'm spelling that correctly, clicked, and that's going to be to our search bar, linked to our UI search bar, and that with a bracket there, and our curly bracket there, and press enter, our parentheses there. So that's not a defined thingy, we're just placing that in, because this means if I jump back into our main.storyboard and our search bar here, right click or control click and drag it up to our files owner and select it as the delegate. So by doing that, within our view controller.swift, when this kind of action gets called, when our search bar presses the search button, it's then going to read this statement for if the search bar was clicked. Now, if the search bar was clicked, that's when we want our web view to display the web view that we selected or the web page that we selected. So again, once the search bar is clicked, because it's linked to the delegate, we're going to read our view controller.swift to see if we can find this statement of the search bar button was clicked. And the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to get our search bar, the lowercase one that we created up here. You see here, I've just kind of created it there. It's a lowercase version. And that's simply going to do .resign first responder. So what this means is it's initially going to dismiss the keyboard from the view. So as soon as you press search, it's going to dismiss the keyboard from the view so we can clearly see the rest of our web view. We then want to go on to create, very much like what we've done and set up here, with having a web view preloaded when the application first loads. but we're going to modify it so it contains what we entered within our search bar. So we create our let, and we're going to simply type space. This one's going to be our text, and that's going to equal what we've placed within our search bar. So we got our search bar outlet that we created with the uppercase letters, dot text. So this let of text is going to equal whatever we added within our search bar. And then I'm going to create our second let, which is very similar to what we've created up above, which is our URL, which is going to equal a NS URL. Quickly find it at the top here. Bracket, type in string, and the string is going to add is our text with our optional wrap, and then that with a bracket there. So that's now linked up above. So the URL, well, you can see here the URL was linked to geekylemon.com in the string. It's now linked up to the text, which is equal to the text within our search bar. So now we move on to requesting that data ready within our URL. So again, I'll recall this one request, and that's going to equal our NS URL request bracket, and that's going to be our URL linked to, again, our URL with our optional wrap there, and that with a bracket. So the request is now kind of adding the text within the search bar. And finally, you get our WebView.load request, and that's simply going to load up our request. Now it doesn't matter that these are kind of the same within our view did load, because these, when this happens, it's only calling the functions within the parentheses. So it's not going to read what's within the view did load. So there's no need to worry about that, as we're not having it do that. So again, to give you a quick rundown, our web view, when the search button is first pressed and it reads this statement, it's going to get our web view and it's going to load a request. The request is going to load is our NSURL request linking back to our URL, which that's equaling the text. And the text let here is equaling whatever text has been placed within our search bar. So again, it's all linking back to itself. And also it dismisses the keyboard from the view. Okay, so let's go to build and run and test this out. So again, depending on how quick your internet connection is, depends on how quick the website's going to load up. And by default, it's going to load up geekylemon.com, as that's what we set it in the view did load. But you can see now we have our search bar at the top. And again, we preset it to have http:// default text from within it. As because we don't want our users to keep typing that out. So I can now type out, and you can see I've clicked on it, but the keyboard doesn't come up. Now this is because it's detecting my actual keyboard on my computer. So if it doesn't come up the first time, you can either do Command K or simply go to keyboard and toggle keyboard software. This is only because it's detecting my keyboard on my computer. This wouldn't happen on a normal device. So I can type out www.google.com, and then I'm going to press search. Now again, as soon as I press search, it will get rid of the keyboard from the view and then make our web view load up the website that we added in. So I press search, it dismisses and loads up Google. So it's pretty cool. And again, in the previous tutorial where we added the web view controls, I can then simply go back to the previous web page and go forward. There we go. So I can delete what's being displayed in here now. And let's try this up to YouTube. Again, you see the keyboard's disappeared, again, because it's detecting my own. But if I press search, dismisses, and then loads up YouTube. And then I can go back to Google, again, depending on how quick the internet connection is. There we go. And back to geekylemon.com. So there we go, we've added in our search bar, and it gives us the ability to search any website that our user wants to display within the application. So we're kind of creating almost like a little mini web browser. We've also got the web view controls added in, so we can go forward and back and even refresh the page at any given time. The only problem we are given at the moment is the problem if our user has really slow internet connection, or you press the button, you're not sure what's happening. And this is when we're going to come on to the third and final part of our WebView application in the next tutorial, where we're going to talk about activity indicators and how to display and indicate activity to our users. So make sure you check out the third tutorial in this little mini web series of our web application within the Swift language. Hey guys, just before you go, I'd like to thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you did enjoy it, make sure you click that big like button down below. And if you'd like to further your knowledge and progress within iOS 9, Xcode 7 for Swift 2 and Objective-C, where you can learn how to create 20 real-life applications, links for these will be below in the description of the video. And if you'd like to learn iOS development on the go, then make sure you check out one of our many iOS applications where you can learn how to create applications again within Objective-C and Swift. The links for these will also be in the description down below. Now, I'd just like to say one last time, if you did enjoy this video and it did help you out in any way, make sure you hit the big like button down below on the video, and make sure you check out our website geekylemon.com, where you can find the full source code for this tutorial and all the others we offer. And make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so you can keep up to date with what's coming here at Geeky Lemon. So once more, let's thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.